There are some beautiful provisions we should carry on in Nigeria based on derivation, because we want to encourage productivity. You know, I feel very ashamed that the most blessed section in this country, which is the North is the most blessed. All the food we are eating, solid minerals. You can see how they are discovering oil. For such a region to even begin to look at South for survival tells you the level of incompetence and corruption of Nigerian leaders. Because they are so blessed in everything. You know, because they are strategically located between the rainforest of the South and the Sahara from the Sahara Desert. So their land is neither too much in this side or too much in this side. Very, very fertile land without fertilizer. So such a region is the region that will be insisting it must be based on derivation. And they just go to look at their land and bring out the beautiful lithium, gold, flowing like a river in the north. They don't need to catch cold whenever anybody sneezes. Derivation is the best method to encourage productivity, and I support it 100%. Then the tax reform bill, I think section 146, they said VAT will be increased from 7.5% to 10% to 12.5% to 15%. Where? Wickedness. People are dying of heavy loads, paying for increased fuel, paying for increased tariff, paying for increased this and that, paying for increased presidential jets, paying for increased presidential yacht. And they want to again put the burden of increasing VAT consumption on the people. Any provision in any tax that increases the burden on Nigeria by 1 kobo is a bad law and should be thrown away. Other countries in the world, they are reducing their VAT, and Nigeria want to increase everything. You know why? So that they can sponsor their lousy, voracious appetites. That is the only reason. Yours riding on presidential jets. You have presidential jets, so just to ride on big one, gold, bloated entrance, clothed, you know, gold coated entrance. Those countries outside that cut their cloth according to their size, those presidential jets their presidents are using are manufactured by them. You are a borrower of money. You don't have money. The people are hungry, and you're living a profligate lifestyle, and you want the people to be the one that you will extort to pay for all those lifestyles. You have 48 ministers, majority of them doing nothing, and you want Nigerians to be taxed more. So I don't like that provision that says VAT should be increased. Then he should have consulted more and more and more. Democracy is based on dialogue and compromise, at least to give people sense of belonging. Telling the 36 governors and your vice president, go to hell, is not the best way to go in a democracy. So I would have supported consultation so that you would disarm those people who are maybe rightly or wrongly coming against your bill. Because the more you educate people on something, the more aware they are. Some people even went to the extent and said the tax bill is against Sharia and is not existing anywhere. But because of the speed you want to pass it, they will say there must be something in it. Then some mischievous people will now come and say this is against Sharia, just to make people to move against it. They say inheritance will be taxed by 24%. How? In my own opinion, it's not existing in the bill. But these are the things that dialogue would have been able to sort out. But I support derivation. I support there should be no increment in taxation on Nigerians. I support the unification of the tax system, because in Nigeria they say there are more than 100 taxes imposed on people. So if it is unified, so that one agents will be collecting the taxes. It makes payment easy. Technology just transfer. Now you have companies income tax, you have personal income tax, you have capital gain tax, you have VAT. Each one has different administrative agency. So in your house, you see people come to you, harass you, company income tax, personal income tax, this and that. This bill wants to harmonize so that you have uniform agency collecting these things, and you can pay this thing once and for all, even through technology. So there are very good things about this bill. The lack of consultation gave room for people to manipulate the provisions, either ignorantly or mischievously, to bring the bill to opprobrium. And remember, tax, once people hear tax, they react negatively to it because they feel it's an imposition. They might not even know it might even be a reduction. Then another thing is, you're saying in the tax bill that anybody earning below 800,000 per annum is exempted from tax, and you are the one who puts the minimum wage to be 70,000. 70 times 12 is 840,000. So even the least person that is earning anything is not exempted from the tax. So what sense does it make? These are the things that consultation helps you to do, to point out to you the little embarrassing provisions, because eventually you give nobody any tax benefits. Because if somebody earning 70,000 will not benefit from it, which is the minimum wage. And minimum wage means that everybody, including even private sector, ought to be paying it. So some provisions have to be tinkered with. That basic minimum should be increased. So that people that are earning should benefit from it. Then any increment of tax should be removed. Then the issue about harmonizing, unifying the administrative processes, very nice. The issue of derivation, very nice. So I support the bill in part, and after due consultation and amendments, it should pass. Now, you said something about one-party state, because I think you combined the, and the role of opposition, if I heard you right. Let me tell you something. There are a lot of things I blame the ruling party on, but they are trying to cripple the opposition parties. Is not one of them. It's a legitimate political weapon for any party to spy on and take out any other party that is not serious. It is not APC that should be blamed for what is going on in Labour Party or PDP. It is Labour Party and PDP that should be blamed. Today you have total absence of leadership in Labour Party, and you have presence of dubious leadership in PDP. So how do you blame APC for it? Did you see any card-carrying member of APC being the chairman of Labour Party or chairman of PDP? So how do you blame APC for that? When you continue placing blame where it is not, you are trying to justify your failure and give excuses for your not succeeding, meaning you're trying to perpetuate it. From their house, they'll send you the charges, and you would state in writing whether you're pleading guilty or not. And if you say you're not guilty, then they will tell you the day you present yourself to court for the commencement of the trial. So a man, where he's staying, who does not go to London or America and be tweeting from there like some cowards do, but he has been in Nigeria and told you he's not going to anywhere, and you know where he is. Have you served him any paper personally? If you have, what's the evidence? What they would have done is, if they've been serving him, because there has to be personal service, if he has been rejecting it or avoiding it, you make it public. I did not see any public declaration by the police or any security agency that they have been serving him and he has not been honoring it. Remember Yahaya Bello? EFCC made all the arrest attempts and all the going to court public before they even served a bench warrant. Did you hear that in Farotimi's case? So I suspect conspiracy. And then the Afe Babalola chamber confirmed when they say, if he proves the allegation, in criminal proceeding, it is the prosecutor that will prove all the allegations beyond reasonable doubt. So if they wanted Farotimi to prove whether what he's saying is true or not, they would have gone through the civil proceeding, where they will now allege defamation, and Farotimi will justify that it is not defamation, that it is the truth. They are the facts. And then they did not go through that procedure, and that is what is making us to conclude reasonably that that is an attempt to intimidate, to frustrate and manipulate Nigerians and punish Farotimi for his political stand on issues without giving him fair hearing. He said he's a victim of Nigeria. I agree with him. So what they would have done is that they would have filed the charges publicly, told Farotimi, come and defend yourself. He comes to court the day, on the day, defends himself, and then the court will decide. Why remand him? Anytime you start remanding anybody, you've already started punishing him. And nobody has any power to punish anybody except the law court. And every law court is expected to act judiciously and judicially. That remand order is unjust and is calculated to punish without fair hearing. So, my take, Afe Babalola chamber, through the confession of the chamber, that Farotimi, if Farotimi proves himself, he will be released. They have just confirmed our fears that there is a collusion based on that statement between them and the security agencies to punish Farotimi for his stand on issues. And of course, the security agencies are under President Tinubu. President Tinubu, you remember, ordered the release of those children that were illegally detained. So he ought to have immediately ordered the release of Farotimi so that it does not portray his government as using the security agencies to intimidate political opponents. Because that's where I will conclude it on. Because he's a political opponent, and worldwide, anything you do to a political opponent, the people of the world have the right to interpret it that you want to intimidate a political opponent. If you ask me, I would say I believe that this is still an intimidation of political opponents, and they should desist from it. Release Farotimi unconditionally and allow him to have his day in court if they believe that he committed any offense, based on archaic, outdated, purported defamation offense, which is no longer existing in the books of some of the advanced states in Nigeria that do not want to impinge free speech, like Lagos. So it's just a ruse. He's just a victim of Nigeria, as all of us are. Since May 29, 2023, the Senate has always been in a hurry to pass anything that President Tinubu brings to it. As a matter of fact, President Tinubu today, by the confession of a senator, that he never saw the approval of the Senate for the presidential jet of 150 billion naira. I'm quoting Abaribe. He never saw it on the Senate floor. And they are purporting to say that it was in the budget. And he says he's always around for the plenary, by his own words. So, the Senate, what it means is that they even preemptively approve whatever is coming to the Senate. Then you can imagine the one that is presented to them. So it's a photocopy Senate, not even rubber stamp, photocopy. They are spokespersons, official spokespersons of the president. A tax reform bill that includes pay and VAT, state taxes. And you think you can rush it through without even consulting these people. And when they had a meeting and said, sir, withdraw this first for further consultation, he said, no. You should go on while you're consulting them. Your own vice president, that's a vote of no confidence on his vice president. There are certain ways you do things in a democracy. You have to give people a sense of belonging. You can't continue with arrogance of power unchecked. This government has had a tradition of not consulting before it brings out policies. Remember, fuel subsidy was gone on the inauguration ground, meaning he did not even consult his wife because they just swore him in. Anything he did before that, he wasn't the president.